I don't really know how to start. Except lately, that's been my prayer.
Come on.
That God would draw me and let me run after Him. And when we came here with our church, it was our first time to come, and we came needing some answers. My husband and I did. And I was laying in the bedroom. We had laid down to take a nap, and I was kind of praying, and God was saying, go to the cross, And I was saying, arguing with Him, and I was like, I know, Lord, I know to lay all my burdens at the cross. I know this. I was raised in church. I know this. And He kept saying, no, go to the cross. And then it dawned on me that He wanted me to walk to the cross. So as I got up and I went outside, and I got on the path, we were down here at this place, and I started walking the path up to the house of praise. And I got to notice, and I'd walked that path the night before, and it didn't really mean anything to me. I thought it was beautiful, but it didn't really hit me. And as I walked it this day, God was showing me that on this path, where she's mowed this trail, on both sides of this trail, the grasses grew up. And God was showing me that that's the trials, that's everything that's grown up. And for me to get to that cross, I had to stay on this mowed path that He laid out for me.
Come on.
I had to trust that that cross, I couldn't see it. I knew it was there because everybody had told me, and I knew God told me to go there, but I couldn't physically see it. But I knew that I had to stay on that path because I just had to have faith that that cross was going to be there. So as I started walking, God was dealing with me. And He was showing me, like I was saying about how it's grown up on both sides, and if the path is the straight way and it's narrow, but you got to stay on it. And as I kept walking, I got up to the house of praise, and I went in there, and I kind of got a drink, and I kind of went out on the porch, and I could kind of see the cross, but I couldn't see it real plain. And I almost told myself, well, that's enough. I see it, Lord, I see it, And He said, no, go to the cross.
Come on.
So I said, okay, God, and so I came down off the porch, and when I got off the porch and I got back on the road, I lost vision. I couldn't see it again because the way of the terrain.
Come on.
And I walked down the road, and this just came to my attention just the other day as I was thinking about this. When I was literally walking down the road, because I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know if I should cross the fence or what. So I was walking down the road, and that gate was up, and I didn't know the code on that gate. But this just came to my attention the other day that I climbed over that gate, that cattle guard in that gate. I just climbed over it. And later on, it was brought to my attention that there is a gate that you can walk through. And I didn't know that. Because I was like thinking about that. I didn't know that gate was there. And God used that, and He told me, He said, because that's what I do in my flesh. He's not to go through that gate. We want to go our own way. We want to climb over the trail and go across the bridge and do it our own way. And the whole time you can just walk through the gate and it's right back on the road. Anyway, so I kept going. I climbed over the gate. I fell to the cattle guard, and I kept going. And as I was getting closer still, I physically couldn't see the cross because of the terrain. And I told Him when I got back, as I was getting closer to going the way I knew I was supposed to go, I felt the drawing. I felt as if somebody had my coat. It was just pulling me. It was that strong. It was just pulling me. And I just started trembling, and I kind of looked around to take note of where I was. And I don't know. I've never been here before. I don't know if there used to be a fence up, but when I turned, there was an old fence post right there, and I had just stepped on the ground that cross stood on. And I knew it with everything in me. The Holy Ghost was on me. I was trembling. I was shaking. And I kept walking, and as I started going down the road, walking closer, you could start seeing the top of it, and it was coming, and it was just right there. And I kept getting closer, and when I got closer, I got to the tree that I had never seen before.
Come on.
And under that tree was that swing, and I walked up over there, and I looked at that tree, and the first thing God showed me was that's the tree of life.
Yeah.
And so I went to that tree, and I went to sit down, and God said, take off your shoes, because you're on holy ground.
Amen.
And I said, Lord, I'm not taking off my shoes. There's ants out here. I'm not taking off my shoes. And He said, take off your shoes, because you're on holy ground. So I did. I sat down in the swing, and I took my shoes off, and I'm looking at the tree and the cross. looking at the tree and I got my eyes on it. I put my feet down. I took my shoes off and I put my foot down. And immediately I felt an ant sting my foot. And I looked down, just reflection. You just took your eye off the focus and I looked down and there was no ant on my foot.
Come on.
I even reached down to walk it off and it wasn't there. And that's how quickly you expect the devil to sting you. That's how quickly you take your eye off of me and let him sidetrack you and feel the pain and it's not even there because I'm with you. And as I got my eye back on the tree, I was looking at it. And I was telling Sister Doreen, I was noticing that this tree had some broken limbs. And they're just still stuck in there, but they're broken and they're dead. But on the end of it, there was some leaves. And God showed me that was people that are broken. Yes. And they still have life because they never left the cross. I told her, I said, that's how I feel. You know, there's going to be people come that's going to be broken that's going to come. And they're going to keep their eye on the cross. And that's just what happened to me. I don't know if it means anything to you. I don't know. It was just an experience for me, and God just taught me so much, you know, just to stay focused on Him. And even as I got all of that, I sat there and I prayed for a long time, you know. And I went to leave, and even as I was leaving, even knowing that I just got touched by God, without a doubt. Even when I put my shoes on and I turned around to leave, the farther I got back down the road, I was in a hurry to get back to tell my husband